So we're looking at section 7.2, addition, subtraction of rational expressions. And in this section, what you want to think about is that even though you're dealing with algebraic expressions that you're adding together, these are fractions, and it's just like working with fractions that were regular numbers. You're going to need to have a common denominator in order to add them up. And when you do that, the denominator stays the same. You add up the numerator, or the tops of each fraction. So when you look at these denominators, x plus 2 on the bottom here, x minus 4 on the bottom here, what you're going to need to do is come up with a common denominator based on those values. And kind of the weird thing about this is x plus 2 and x minus 4, even though some of the individual terms are common in a way, x and x and 2 and 4, 2 divided into 4, they're still completely unrelated when it comes to this process. Because they're added, you treat this like it's one factor. X minus 4, that's one factor. So unless factors are identical, two things are completely unrelated. So we go into the tutor mode. You can see the step-by-step. They're going to ask us, actually I've already started this one a little bit to kind of see how they were going to do it. The first question they asked was what's the lowest common denominator? So I went through, I looked at the two denominators here and said, well, okay, x plus 2 and x minus 4, I'm going to need one of each of those because there's nothing common between these. So I multiplied them out. I did the FOIL process, or the multiplication process, and got x squared minus 2x minus 8. So that's going to go on the bottom of both of these. On the top of the first fraction, I'm going to have to try to describe this. Imagine over here, x minus 4 is what we needed to multiply x plus 2 with to get the denominator. I'm going to need to multiply x minus 4 on the top as well. So imagine parentheses around x minus 4, parentheses around x plus 4 on the top here. And when you multiply all the combinations out, you'd end up with x squared minus 16. Okay, on the right hand side, this fraction is becoming this right box here. So x minus 2 over x minus 4, if I multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 2, because that's what this bottom needed to get the lowest common denominator, the x plus 2 multiplied with the x minus 2 FOILed out would be, the middle stuff would cancel. You'd end up with x squared minus 4. Click submit. Say those are the two fractions, and when I combine the numerators together, x squared and x squared can go together, so we want to be careful with that. Remember that you add the ones out front. You're going to get 2x squared, and then minus 16 minus 4 is a minus 20, so that's what the top is going to look like. And then they say finally place that value over the lowest common denominator, reduce if possible. So this example here, I mean, when you plug this in, this may potentially, most likely will be the simplified final answer. What I don't like about the way Hawks is kind of guiding us through is that writing the bottom as x squared minus 2x minus 8 is okay, but it would be a lot better to leave it factored as x plus 2, x minus 4, because if I looked at the top and saw anything, factored anything out, and saw something that would reduce, I would be able to tell a lot quicker. But if you factor the top and the bottom there isn't anything that's going to reduce down. So this would be your final answer. Okay, so we'll see if we can squeeze another one in for the first video here. This problem here, the negative, you're talking about subtraction here with this these two fractions. We're going to want to deal with the negative. Make sure not to lose that. Let's follow this step by step. Okay, so following their steps, they say what's the lowest common denominator. You can think about that first. If I were to do some of the work out, just kind of describing it to you in words, I want to know what the factors are in each denominator. X plus 3, there's two terms there, x and 3, but there's only one factor. Okay, x plus 3 is a factor. Now x squared minus 5x minus 24, there's three terms here, but you can actually use the process of factoring back in chapter 6, like 6.2b, 6.2c. That was all about factoring these guys. So you could come up with combinations that multiply to give you minus 24 and add up to minus 5. I think you're going to get x minus 8, x plus 3 are going to be your factors. So because x plus 3 is a factor that's shared between both of these guys, all you need to have a common denominator is an x minus 8 to go next to this left fraction, and then you have a match. So you look and kind of say, you know, at most, what do I have of each type of factor? I've got 1x plus 3, I've got an x minus 8 in this guy, so this one will need that. So we're going to type in x squared minus 5x minus 24, because I know contained in that is x plus 3 and x minus 8, those two factors. Okay. Alright, so they're going to have us modify these if necessary. The left-hand fraction, 6 over x plus 3, is going to become 6x minus 48 over x squared minus 5x minus 24, and the one on the right is going to stay the same. It'd be nice if we had a little button I could just push that would be like, just copy everything over on the right hand side. I don't think I can cut and paste anything. Or over on the left hand side, sorry. It'd be nice if I could copy it over. We'll type it all in for you so the right side stays the same. Okay, so combining the numerators, notice what they did here, and this is a very important point. They said the denominators are the same now. Now when you subtract, you're distributing a negative to everything that's next to it on the right. So they put parentheses around this to be very careful, to remind you that you need to distribute that negative in. So I'm actually going to have 6x minus 4x is 2x minus 48 minus a minus 5. This is a plus 5. It's going to be combined with the minus 48. So I have a minus 43. Okay, so don't miss the negative part. And then if the top is that, you've got 2x minus 43 over x squared minus 5x minus 24. Okay, so we're going to look at some more problems. We'll make another video to complement this one. But keep in mind you need a common denominator. You determine what that is, and then you determine what you need to do to each fraction in order to make it match. But you want it to be the lowest common denominator. You say, at most, what do I have of each type of factor? And then once you list each type in terms of how many you have of each of those, you multiply it out, that's your lowest common denominator. Make the changes to each fraction. You should be good from there to be able to figure out the numerators and combine them together.